Welcome back, dear viewers. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about the development of historic South Cairo area. And we are joined over the phone by Mr. Ehab Wagdy, tourism expert. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So,
Good
sir,
morning.
can you elaborate for us on the government plan to develop historical Cairo?
Well, as a matter of fact, this uh, project
Yes.
actually has been in withdrawals for a long time because we had to do this long time ago, and maybe some of us still
Yes.
remember even in the beginning of this century when the government at that time was talking about moving all the cemetery from east and south part of Cairo and the area. If we all still remember when we had the leather production, also there behind the aqueduct, the lake, and the water in the area, how it looked like now it has been developed. That's still a part of it where the Civilization Museum is located, and the area was developed there, and they are still going on. We actually this area is extremely rich when you talk about the southern part of Cairo or South Cairo. That's where the first Islamic capital was built. I'm talking about Al Fustat during the time of Amr ibn al-As. We
Yes.
have the Old Cairo area where we have the churches, the synagogue, and the oldest mosque in Egypt, in Africa, the oldest synagogue in Egypt, and the oldest church in Egypt. Parallel to this, we have the area where the museum, and it was already developed, putting in mind the new roads they are opening and developing over there, because when we talk about tourism, we talk about transportation, we talk about road, how fast you are moving from a point to another. All of this, we can see all of this actually, we can see it happening right in front of us. It has been happening for some time, and now the work is increasing. As far as I know, that it should be the first stage. After that, it's going to be by the end of this year.
So, sir, to what extent developing this area will make it more attractive to tourists?
Right. We are talking about, as I said, religious kind of sites, like, as I said, the Jewish, the Christian, the Islamic. So you have a lot of tourists would come over there. We are connecting areas to each other. If you can imagine the area where the museum, where the churches, behind the where the aqueduct, Al Fustat, all of this, including this project, will is extending until it reach the citadel. In this area, which is full with mosques, or what we call it, Islamic Cairo, then you have the gardens will be added. And by the way, it's not in the future, not will be added. I was there very soon, and I've seen a lot of work about to be finished. And they have maybe some of us, they know that when they moved a big part of the cemetery in that area to enlarge it. How this is helping tourism and the visitors? A lot. Because in the past, the classical kind of tours that were happening in Egypt and in Cairo, that the tourists were spending like 2 nights in Cairo, mainly to visit two sites, the pyramids stay, Saqqara and Giza. Then he would go to the museum, Citadel, and Old Cairo. Now, when we add more sites, we are obliging the tourist and the tour makers or the tourist makers, the tour makers to add more nights to the programs so they can see more, and that of course means spending more money, and that means increasing our national income. All of this a part of this project? Yes, it is. And actually, El Mu'izz Street is not far away from us. We also know what's happening over there. Parallel to this, so you have in Cairo, you have in El Fustat, you have the southern part of Cairo. Great job is going on now.
So, sir, also, if we talk about historic Cairo, tell us more about the monuments that should be preserved during this renovation, during the renovation of this area.
Actually, they are already doing this, because when you go over there, you will find that the work got two sides. You'll find the archaeologists, they are doing their work to protect the monuments that they are over there, like the cemetery where the last royal family were buried. In this area, they are renovating this area, but at the same time, you have a lot of monuments over there, and that's why you will find that the monastery as concentrating on restoring these monuments. Most of them, by the way, are Islamic monuments. Parallel to this, you still have the Jewish cemetery in that area. We have also a lot of zawaya, a lot of madaris, I mean schools, madaris. I'm talking about madrasa from the ancient times, right? And we have also several mosques in this area, whether some of them are dating back to the Ayyubi time, some are dating back to the Mamluk time. Add to this, El Fustat itself, the first Islamic Cairo, I'm sorry, the first Islamic capital in Egypt before Cairo, the capital now.
Yes, actually, the newly renovated Al-Aqmar Mosque opens its doors to public last Sunday as part of the government plan to develop many mosques and renovate many mosques in Old Cairo. Can you tell us more about this?
Absolutely, except that you're absolutely right. Except that I want to make it clear that Al-Aqmar mosque, it's located in a different area, still a part of Cairo, of course, but it's located in El Mu'izz Street, and it is a very important monument. This is the oldest mosque in El Mu'izz Street. All the other famous mosques in El Mu'izz Street were built after Al-Aqmar. Al-Aqmar is dating back to the Fatimite time, and that means you are talking about the same time of Al-Azhar. We are talking roughly 1,000 years old. This is the age of a mosque, 1,000 years old. When we say that, we tease some of our friends, the foreigners, when they come to Egypt, saying, Cairo, by the way, was built the day before yesterday, 1,000 years ago only. These projects are extremely important. We are putting the life back in this area. We are increasing the standard of the culture, even for us, for the locals, for the Egyptians themselves, for the visitors, and the value of the country as a culture destination for tourists who wants to look for this kind of tourism. Egypt, it's not only pharaonic Egypt,
Yes.
but we still have Coptic Egypt, Islamic Egypt, and I'm not doing it by religion, as a matter of fact, but I'm doing it by timing. I'm dating by timing, and Islamic Cairo is extremely rich barrel to this. You will
Yes,
find the
yes, Mr.
churches
Ehab,
in
I'd like
nearby El Moise Street were also
yes, I'd like to
restored
thank you. We are
afterwards.
running out of time, Mr. Ehab Wagdy, tourism expert. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of the Breakfast Show. Thank you for watching.